allowing Walton to close the distance and get him along the ropes where he's hammering him to the body.
Let him go, let him go.
And some of that at Whitley's got 34-year-old legs. It's easier to back to the ropes and use the ropes for support.
Question about that, Willie, those been the distance many times. Walton.
That's part of the problem.
Yeah, that's right. Walton's never been past 6. This is the 6th round right now. The fight is scheduled for 8. But Walton's hurt. Walton's hurt. He was hurt by Whitley, and down he goes. Down he goes on a nice tight shot by Whitley. First knockdown of the fight, and that is huge on the scorecard.
Wow. Must have been a short shot on the inside, maybe a left hand. We were blocked by referee Holmes. We couldn't really tell what landed on the inside.
Walton is still hurt, John, and Whitley knows it, I think. Look at Walton's legs. His are wobbly.
Very wobbly.
Step back.
Just when it looked like Walton was getting back into the fight, a huge moment for Derek Whitley.
Might need to knock him down just to get back into the fight. See Walton trying to load up here. Whitley scores with a right hand.
Walton's whiffing though with those right hands. A little sense of desperation.
Break. Step back, step back, step back.
Walton, you're right, not jabbing. Whitley has switched over to the conventional stance, and Walton could be jabbing right now. As round 6 winds down, Whitley puts Walton down in the 6th. Scheduled for 8. We'll be back to the ballroom in a moment. Action from the 6th round as Derek Whitley's nice combination on the inside, left-right combination, and another, the uppercut as well, and George Walton had to take a knee to regroup, John. That was a huge knockdown in this fight.
Well, I've got Whitley unofficially ahead. That's a slip.
Slip in the corner of Whitley, which was wet.
I got Walton ahead, trailing by 3.
John Shyman, do you concur?
58-55 on my unofficial card. That was a critical point in the fight because with only 2 rounds left and 3 points behind, George Walton would have to score a knockdown, if we're correct, to win this fight. But I think the only reason Whitley couldn't finish him is because the body punching has really taken a lot out of him. And I think he was just gassed until he scored the knockdown that got him back into it.
Excellent point.
George Walton on the hunt here now with Whitley. Whitley up against the ropes. He's done some pretty good work up against the ropes, John Saraceno.
Well, Whitley's chosen to fight off the ropes. I think part of that's age, but part of it, he's been effective doing that. But I think probably Walton's best moments has been when he's been able to pin Whitley along those ropes. Because when he's out in the middle of the ring with him, and Whitley's using the jab, he's having a much more difficult time with that southpaw style.
Sending Whitley to the corner to do some work on the glove. George Walton standing above us here. They're going to give Whitley some maintenance with the tape. Taking their time. Can't cut that.
Okay, stay right there.
Cut that tape. Gotta use his teeth, huh, John? Is that how you cut yours? Now Whitley switches back to the southpaw stance. You know, if George Walton learned something here, he needs to find a different style when he comes up against a guy like Whitley. Got to be able to switch gears.
Well, Whitley, we said coming into this fight, has the experience.
I mean, unless you're a devastating puncher, you have to know how to fight more than one way.
Well, he's learning the hard way on fight night. It's hard to get work like this in a gym.
It's true. Whitley's such a tough character. Whitley would run his record to a 500 mark, 17-17, if he were to win.
I'm not even sure why you want to fight a guy like Whitley when you're building the guy. To be honest with you.
Whitley lost 9 of his first 14 fights.
But since then, right, has a winning record, and the guy's never been knocked down. So, I mean, what do you gain by fighting a guy like Whitley at this stage of Walton's career? A difficult fight, and the guy's really fighting in his backyard because he's been a staple of ballroom boxing, Whitley has, along with his brother. So, when you're making a fight as a manager, You want as many chips on your side of the table as possible. You don't want to be gambling or taking a chance, at least when you're building a guy.
This fight, once again, is scheduled for 8 rounds. This is the 7th. A lot of blood from the nose of George Walton here.
Well, Walton's going to have to start taking a lot more chances here. Unless he thinks he's ahead in the fight, and I don't believe he thinks that.
Both fighters showing serious signs of fatigue right now. As round 7 winds down. Does Walton need a knockout to win?
We think so.
Good left hand by Walton. At the bell of round 7, the 8th and final round will be next. Corner of George Walton must be telling him he needs at least a knockdown to win this fight. Action from round 7 as it ended. Derek Whitley and George Walton really firing with some bad intentions.
Hey, touch him up, guys. Touch him up.
The last punch of the round right there. Good left hand by Walton. The 8th and final round is underway. John Scheinman with 3 minutes to go. Does Walton need a knockout to win?
Absolutely. The last round was extremely close, but I gave it to Whitley. I thought he did the crisper combination punching. Looks like both guys are going to let it go, though, Larry.
Whitley scoring nicely here at the beginning of round 8.
I'll tell you what, he's not backing into it in any sense. He's really fighting hard there. He's got to feel that he's ahead in this fight. Doesn't have to take chances in the final round.
George Walton's had Whitley up against the ropes several times during the fight and worked the body beautifully.
George Walton in a lot of trouble here.
Whitley with the quicker hands. Walton's already been down once in this fight. Another knockdown right now would probably clinch it for Whitley.
I think the story of this fight was really Whitley's bigger, stronger, and more experienced.
I guess that's a pretty good way of putting it.
And I think the southpaw, when you add that into it, is too much for George Walton to overcome.
Tough learning experience for George
Break.
Walton.
Step back, step back, step back.
Apparently headed to his first loss as a professional. Unless he can, pull lightning out of a jug here.
Well, you never know. Walton is a very good puncher. Only takes one. He's got to find it
Step
and
back,
quick.
step back. No punches, step back.
Whitley said he trained
Step back,
like this
step
was a
back.
world championship
Step back.
fight. It was a good opportunity for him to beat an unbeaten fighter and also get his record to the 500 mark. Whitley's done everything he possibly could to win this fight. George Walton
Step
continues
back,
to
no
battle.
punches, step back, step back.
Not get anywhere, however.
An impressive performance by Derek Whitley. A guy who does not have a winning record.
He certainly likes fighting here. This is his 9th fight here. Exchange of power shots there. Whitley getting the better of us now. You can see Walton.
You see how discouraged Walton is. He really is. He wants to try to land that big shot. He's putting everything into it. But he realizes time is running out.
Break, step back, step back.
Pretty clean fight.
Difficult.
Bill Holmes hasn't had to do much. Walton continues to follow Whitley. Veteran has done a great job here neutralizing the youngster George
Break,
Walton.
step back,
I
step
tell you,
back.
it's how Walton comes back from this defeat if he is to lose this fight officially. That's going to tell us about him as a fighter.
Good sportsmanship here in the ballroom as Whitley and Walton go the distance.
I like the way, there's the winner, we think, Derek Whitley, but I like the way George Walton carries himself as a professional. Class act.
Fight will go to the judges' scorecards. Here at Michael's 8th Avenue, George Walton and Derek Whitley go the distance. So we will see, was it Derek Whitley taking home the victory or did George Walton pull it out? We're going to find out from Pat O'Malley when we return. Don't go away. Back to ballroom boxing. We saw a great 8-round fight. It went the distance. George Walton and Derek Whitley. Action from round 6. As we saw Derek Whitley get Walton turned around, put him down with a combination. It was a right hand, actually a combination to the head of George Walton that caused him to go down. And at that point in the fight, John, it looked like Walton was putting up a comeback.
He was in the fight, and that totally turned the fight in Whitley's favor.
Let's see if Derek Whitley won and gets his record to 500. We're going to find out from Pat O'Malley.
Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. We go to the scorecards. Judge Gary Scampaneschi scores it 79-72. Judge John Gradowski scores it 78-73, as does Judge Kenny Chevalier. And the winner by unanimous decision, Derek Double Impact Whitley.
500. Derek Whitley gets it done, runs his record to 500, and man, I tell you what, that's got to make him feel good.
Oh, that's got to be a great feeling. You see action from the fight, a flurry. You saw Whitley really fighting hard in that final round when he really didn't have to, but when he saw Walton come out with bad intentions, he knew Walton needed a knockout. He said, you know what, you're not just going to get over on me that easily. I'm going to fight back. And Whitley hung on, did more than hung on for the victory. 17-17-1.
Derek Whitley outworks George Walton. That was the difference in this fight tonight. Walton did some good body work, but it was Derek Whitley throwing the more effective punches. Let's go to John Scheinman in the ring with the winner and runner-up.
Earlier, you said the biggest win of your career was when you retired undefeated George Barksdale here. Now you've beaten undefeated George Walton here. What does this victory mean to you?
In a way, it was kind of a stepping stone for me again, coming back in with an undefeated fighter. He's a strong kid. He's smart, he's tough. He didn't give up, and he hits hard. So I had to figure out keep my hands up and move, slip and move and try to counterpunch him and keep him off with a jab. But he kept coming. I give him a lot of credit to tell him to keep his head up and keep going, because that's how I started. But a lose is just a game. You know what I'm saying?
But that's exactly what I was thinking. The counter punching off the ropes, especially with the body work, was just pivotal for you.
Yeah, he has a tremendous body punching power. I mean, a couple of times he hurt me, but I figured I'd hold on. The ref's gonna say break, but you gotta do what you gotta do to survive, and then come back and try to get your points back.
Let's bring George Walton over here for a second. In a tremendous fight, you seem to be methodically working the body the entire night. Did you think that was gonna earn you pay dirt in the later rounds?
First of all, I'd like to give all the glory and praise to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, for without him I'm nothing. But yeah, I knew coming into this fight that he was very durable, and just because he had a 16-17 record, that means he had the experience, and yeah, I tried to just land the clean shots, and not waste punches, and not get caught out there with his southpaw style. I'm ready for the great fight.
Derek Whitley, George Walton showing great sportsmanship here. This is a great fight, and Derek Whitley getting one of the biggest wins of his career. He's one of the kings of the ballroom. Let's go back to ringside.
Good to see that type of sportsmanship. We, of course, fight before the fights, John Saraceno and I, but we have made up. Great to have you with us for Ballroom Boxing. More action coming up in a moment. Don't go away. Welcome back to the ballroom. Larry Michael with John Saraceno. Time for history in the ballroom, folks. First time a former Olympian has ever seen action in the ballroom. It is Clarence Vinson out of Washington, D.C. Let's go to John Scheinman for the outlook on this fight. John.
Larry, this is going to be an outstanding test for the Olympian Clarence Vinson. It's his first time fighting an 8-rounder. He's only gone 6, and he's going against an opponent tonight in Sandro Aviato, who has 40 professional fights under his belt. And Aviato, in the time I've spent with him here in the past couple of days, is one of the nicest guys we've had in the ballroom. I also think he's going to provide a stiff test. Should be a good action fight.
All right, Clarence Vinson in the ring. And John, coming out of the Olympics, if you win a medal, you certainly have it set up for you to be successful as a professional. Clarence Vinson has a lot of potential.
Well, he does. I mean, he fought an HBO in his very first fight. That tells you what promoters and television thought about him.
Yep.
Quick hands, quick feet, a lot of ability. Bantamweight, small guy, but can be entertaining. He's fighting a guy tonight who has, I believe, 5 12-round fights under his belt, and that's key.
Big challenge for the youngster Clarence Vinson tonight. Let's get this one started with Pat O'Malley.
It's time now for more ballroom boxing. This 8-round bout in the flyweight division. Introducing the boxers. First to my left, out of the red corner, weighing 119.5 pounds. He hails from Miami, Florida. via Argentina. His record, 22, 16, and 2. 4 KOs. Please welcome Sandro Oviedo. To my right, out of the blue corner, in the black trunks, weighing 119 pounds, he hails from the nation's capital, Washington, D.C. He has a perfect record, 5-0, 2 via the KO. Please welcome Clarence, the untouchable Vinson.
Toughest test to date, going up against Sandro Oviedo. Let's take a look at the matchup there, John.
Well, Oviedo, you can see the reach advantage, linear reach advantage, huge for Clarence Vinson.
Clarence Vinson turned pro January of 2001. He is unbeaten at 6-0. Fought just a couple weeks ago. Looking for another victim here tonight. And the man on the agenda, Sandro Oviedo, out of Argentina. Vinson has brought some support here from Washington, D.C., his hometown. Bronze medalist in the Sydney Olympics. First Olympian ever to battle in the ballroom. And you might notice the footwear of the Argentinian. Could have bought those in the store. That Johnny's wearing just regular tennis shoes.
I think he did go down to the store and buy a pair of Nikes. That's not a good sign.
Clarence Vinson, just, bred to be a boxer. Just great amateur career. 185-11 in the amateurs. Ballroom boxing brought to you by Budweiser, the king of beers. Larry Michael with John Saraceno. Great to be with you as always. Ballroom boxing, coast to coast. Defense there by Clarence Vinson. The test here for Clarence Vinson is the length of the fight, the 8 rounds. I'm not so sure it'll go that far.
We just don't know. He may not know either. But at this point, we should be trained to be able to go 8 rounds, and I'm sure that's not going to be a problem.
Sandro Oviedo, pretty strong character. John, all the different fighters we've seen in the ballroom, we've never seen a former Olympian in here, and Clarence Vinson is the first.
I don't know if we've seen any bantamweights. I can't remember any.
Check the weights as we did the matchup. 119 pounds at the weigh-in yesterday for Clarence Vinson.
Come on out.
119 and a half for Sandro Oviedo.
Oviedo with a lot of experience, as you talked about. And that's going to come in handy against a guy like Vinson. A little bit of blood from Vinson's lip, I think, lower lip. Vinson way on the outside, missing wildly. Clarence is very... Oh, nice uppercut by Vinson.
Uppercut knocked the liquid out of the nose of Oviedo. Good thing it was the other side of the ring there, John, huh?
Brought my Kleenex.
Vinson really wanting to put some hurt on him now. Blood from the mouth of Clarence Vinson, you're right.
Swelling and some redness.
Let him out, let him out.
Oviedo's face already.
So blood from Oviedo's nose. Oviedo turned pro when Clarence Vinson was just 10 years old. His fight is scheduled for 8 in the ballroom. We'll be back. Round 2 is next. just dominating right now.
Man, watch that.
Destroying him.
Round 4 underway here in the ballroom. And I'm going to bring John Scheinman in quickly. Larry Michael with John Saraceno ringside. Ballroom Boxing brought to you by Budweiser. And John Scheinman, how far do you think Clarence Vinson can go?
Oh, well, definitely he can win a world title. There's no question about it. I mean, he's got all the tools. He's a great defensive fighter, good body puncher, fast hands. I just want to quickly say, I think Oviedo did a great job in that last round. His survival instincts are superb. And if he's going to play around like that and get Vinson out of his game.
Big right hand by Vinson. Sorry, John.
It's okay. The action took precedence.
Oh, he goes down with the right hand. I'm not so sure he's getting up.
If he